because that's kind of a neat one. All right, so those are pretty easy. What you probably don't have when you get a brand new iPad is this little world symbol. This little looks like a globe. Okay, you probably don't have that when you get one. How I got my globe is if you exit out of here and go back to your home screen and go to your settings again. So get back to your settings and go to your general button. Are we all back there? Is that, we do okay? General. And then slide it up, well, yeah, up, and you'll get to a keyboard option. All right, so if you click keyboard, and you click the keyboard again, you've got, first of all, options to do all your work in all sorts of different languages. All right, if you want to do so. The other thing you can do is you can add a new keyboard. Okay, so if you want to talk in Chinese, but what the one that you might actually use, and I suppose mine's not going to show up because I already have it selected, is emoji. E-M-O-J-I. You guys see an emoji as an option? Okay, if you click that one and add that as a keyboard, you are now going to go back to your notes. And go to your world, and you should have all sorts of cute little pictures now. Okay? Now, here's a little trick as far as if you want to use these. Okay, so if you're typing my daughter was putting her Christmas list together. She wants a new basketball. She put in her little basketball next to it. The thing is if you send it to somebody who doesn't have an iPad or an iPhone, the cute little pictures don't show up as cute little pictures. They'll show up as a J or something, and it takes the fun out of it. So just so you don't get disappointed after you put in all these cute little ones, the happy faces, the horse, and you're doing all those fun little things, that they won't show up for you. All right? So there's your keyboard. Here's, okay. And then if you want to get back to your keyboard, you got to press the world again. All right, did you get that? All right, so now let's say you're typing in, you're doing a bunch of typing, and you notice that it shouldn't have been HJK, it's supposed to be HHK. Getting back isn't as easy as it is like on a computer where you hit your arrow bar and go back. If you don't have an arrow bar, okay, or an arrow button. You have an X that'll delete things for you, but it won't let you get kind of into the beginning, like, oh, I didn't want a panda, I wanted a horse. In order to get there, the only way to do that is to touch it. You'll get your little cursor to show up, it'll drop it in there, and then you can backspace it. Okay, so that's what's a lot different on these keyboards than what you're used to on a computer. You just back arrow and get to wherever you want, or up arrow. Here you just have to stick your finger in, oops, hold it, and it'll let you drop it in there. So that gets that's one that took me, I needed help with that one. Like I'd always had to erase my entire word to get there. You just hold it, drop it in there, and you'll be good to go. All right? When you get, maybe I should type a real word. Sometimes it'll give you, if you have it set on your settings, it'll give you words that you can select, and if you hit your space bar, like I have Minnesota almost written, if I hit my space bar, it'll drop Minnesota in there for me. If I spell Minnesota wrong, and I highlight it, and you hold your finger on there, it'll give you options how to select your word, and then if I want to copy it, or get a different suggestion for what the word should actually be, it'll do that for you and put it in. So just holding down on that word that you're unsure of the spelling will give you those kinds of options. So that's how you can cut and paste and move things to where you want to also. That's the kind of the basics of the keyboard. The next thing, as we keep moving along, is getting apps. Okay, that's what these little babies are all about, is getting yourself some apps. So what you're gonna do is what you always are gonna have is an app store. Okay, never mind the 34, that just means I have 34 apps that need to be updated. Okay, and sometimes you don't want to update your apps. So there's a bunch of them out there that I'm not going to update, because first of all, I'm not using them anymore. And some of them, when you do an update, it can actually make it worse. So when you only have a few, it's easy to update because you can hit the update all, they all update and it's all good. But sometimes it's just not worth it. So you go to your app store, and what you're gonna get is hopefully, I'm gonna put it on the featured one just to start with. It's taken a little while, could be because there's so many of us trying to do it at one time. And here is your app store. All right.
Go to
search
settings.
for an app, up here in the top corner up here.
And then
is
go
your
to
search
Wi-Fi,
box.
and it should pop up as
And
internet.
if you hit the little X, it'll start it over for you.
I kind of like acceptable use policy.
Like,
but we
we're
want
doing it in
to
the right spot.